You're not doing that.
Oh, really? I don't think you know that for sure.
Well, from my own request, you're not doing that.
I'm sorry. You need to bring that up or file a grievance, okay? Bring it up or file a grievance. I'm listening. I'll go back and ask. Were there any specific requests from Marcia Taylor that were not
Are you
honored?
denying that every single licensed interpreter in the state of Kentucky is on the list and you are rotating through that list?
No, I'm not denying.
You're rotating through a list.
No. The rotation is you have qualified, two qualified interpreters, and if you
qualified
have,
interpreters in the state of Kentucky on a list, or you rotating through that list as the statute requires you to do.
yes.
I beg to differ. But okay, let's move on, because I will take that up.
Yes, we are. Excuse me. Hold on here a minute. I'm taking real issue with you thinking that we're not doing our job. We're doing the four things I'm going to say this one more time. What other people have issues with. There are other people here this evening,
There's
okay?
spoke for the last 2 hours of time. Very few of the community has got to speak.
Of course. Okay? You have four things that we follow. We rotate interpreters if they're qualified, consumer choice, it's consumer choice, and their rotations up, we don't call them. And if that has to be met, and if all of the things are met, all the demands are met, the qualifications, they're on a consumer list, it's their choice, whatever, we will choose that interpreter, but you have to understand that one important thing, it is not us that will pay or accept that interpreter, it's the requesting agency. If I give them the agency and they say, no, I'm not working with that interpreter, I'll say, why? I have done that. I've had them tell me no, and I have to advocate for it. And for that reason, you have to go to that agency and file the grievance. It's not the commission. We are following the regs. They have final say because they are paying for the service. I know you don't agree, but I can only tell you what we do, and I encourage anybody in the room here, if you want to understand it or file a grievance, please feel free to do that. We need to all do better for this, for deaf and hard of hearing people's lives. If I need to improve, I will. I'm not saying no for some internal personal reason. I don't have a personal reason. I've worked for many agencies across the state. They come to me and tell me what they will and won't do, and I have to advocate and explain to them, no, you can't do this. And when they say, I won't accept this interpreter for whatever reason, okay, then I'll have to ask for another preferred interpreter. So I encourage everybody, if you're working with the state agency, give us your preferred list and we will always keep it. And we can keep a list of, we have a list of who certain people prefer. But if that changes, let me know, because I don't know when you change that. If you don't like a certain person or whatever, then let me know. But we'll keep that list. Okay, one of the things that was brought up tonight, we're not here often. That was brought up earlier. You don't know where to go for certain things, and you all don't know what the commission is doing. So we will be instigating a pilot, setting that up to get permission, and I've got permission to do this. And the pilot is that I will send one or two of the staff people to certain regions. It could be like from here, for example, for 3 to 5 days. And the responsibility would be to go to hospitals and go to the prisons and go to various agencies for several days. And at the same time, maybe we'll partner with the libraries or both rehab to get some office hours established to hear your all's concerns and hear your needs, and we'll write those down. We're not direct services, but we can hear that and we can advocate. So I will be sending staff. I have 14 staff people. It's not easy. But of those 14 staff, we're going to be rotating those people out to go to different parts of the state and I hope to start that this fall. And hope that we'll have one in your area so that you can say, hey, wait, we're having these issues. Or let us go face to face with the hospitals. We need to go directly to the hospitals, to the administrators there, and we called, we talked about certain things, and that, they agree, and then they still do that. So we need to sit down face to face with these people. We have community advocates that want to be with us. When we're explaining this to the hospitals about what's going to be done, we'll do that. So we can make sure what your needs are here in this area. That's my biggest issue here. Before, when I was with my partner, we went to the emergency room, and I asked I told them I need an interpreter, and they were like, no, they turned me down. And they wanted me to use VRI. And I went ahead and sat down and waited for that to get set up. And then the nurse, she didn't know how to set the VRI up at all. So I asked the nurse, why don't you call an interpreter? You should have a list of names that are from this area. I know they have it, but they didn't have a list of interpreters at all. So we waited. They couldn't get the VRI set up, and it was almost 4 to 6 hours. And after that, they sent us to Lexington, and they set that up, the VRI there. But afterwards, I came home, and I had spent almost all day there. Doing all that. It was hours and hours. And that's, our area, they in the hospitals, they don't have a list of interpreters they can call. And did you file a complaint? Okay, then we'll sit with you and we'll go through that process again. You have 180 days for consumer rights to file a grievance. Some people complained from this incident that may have happened beforehand, and they've missed out on 180 days. So that's a great situation, and when we fill it all out, then it happened 180 days ago. Well, the hospital in Somerset, that's from Tennessee. They follow Tennessee and their regulations, not what happens here in Kentucky. Okay, I see. So I just found that out, and I was like so disgusted that, my foot doctor explained all that to me, and then I went to a different specialist for my ex-partner, and we talked about a few things, and we were going to try to get an interpreter set up, and they said, oh no, we don't accept working with interpreters, we only do VRI. And that doctor flew off. Okay, Virginia's saying, I need you to collect those kind of stories, and that's why we're going to be coming to this area, that we will sit and you'll come and tell me things that may have occurred in the hospital, and we want to hurry and file the appeal. Because sometimes the hospitals will say something, but they don't follow through, so they'll just listen, but you need to file the appeal. But that, I will tell you, the audience members saying they've been to Somerset and had that same experience. Okay, I will sit with the Somerset Hospital and explain this situation, and either they will listen or they will have a grievance filed. And the audience members saying, well, we've done all that, and really, it's just they give me such a difficult time every time. That's why we're going to be here with you, and we need to do, Juanita, we'll bring our laptop and we'll type that up and file another grievance, okay?
I've also noticed that an individual is sick and then they go to a specialist of some type and feel they need to see the specialist for whatever illness that they got. And what the doctors tend to do with the specialists here in our areas, they don't send us here, they send us to Lexington. and many deaf people, you know, we have specialists in this area that can address that problem, but, you know, I mean, it's something that's in our region, but they'll send us to Lexington. They always send us to Lexington. Virginia says, I wasn't aware of that, so that's one way they avoid getting interpreters is by sending them out of their regional doctor system, or they don't have to pay for interpreters out of their system. And that's smart business on their part to move it outside of their region. So again, we need to make note of that and file a complaint. The difficulty is that if you're sick and you're in the hospital, can you advocate for yourself? Well, of course not. Why should you? Dodie says, you have complained over and over and over again. You have gone to meetings, you tried to contact the commission, we don't get a response, or this is what I'm hearing from the consumers in this area, and something needs to change. What? Okay, well, we're going to know this. Something needs to change in our region. We need to work together. We need to get not only the Lexington regions, but the bigger hospitals who have a satellite here in the smaller cities like in Somerset and the like. They come into this region and work with us, but we're not working collaboratively. You know, we're human beings, but I feel like they're just milking us for the money they can get. The sad thing that we're hearing is that we're not getting a response from you all, or that you're not calling us until after the fact. We have so many days to file a complaint. So I don't have heard from one or two in this region. I've heard that from more than one or two in this region. You know, you're just saying it, you said it and you mean it, and I understand that. But I want to promote that we have to have someone in this region to listen to it and fill those complaints out. I'm not looking for excuses, but with the amount of phone calls that we get and within our data space, it's horrendous. That's no excuse, but if a person fails to get access and contact to Kcdhh, that's a failure on our part. There's no excuse for that. We need to be more responsive, and I have put that down on the list, and we're trying to figure out then how do we do a better job. We get overwhelmed, but that's no excuse, and that's why we're here. And that's why it may not be the right answer right now, I don't know, but if we are here tonight, as the audience member says, we're overwhelmed. There are a number of people here that are not getting the services that they need. Virginia said there are two things that have impacted me. One is the insurance company issues. It's interesting that WellCare is getting interpreters under your medical card, so who are they calling, and do they know that they have to be a licensed interpreter? Do they know? So that's a question that I want to ask. And so that was astounding to me. I wasn't aware of that. And then the second issue that I heard tonight is that doctors referring out of the region so that they don't have to provide interpreting services. Those are two issues that we need to address. We need to be watchdogs on that.
The reason I want to jump here because I want to address something there on Lisa's question. Sorry. If doctors are referring out of the region, I'm going to go back a little bit to exclusivity here, and I apologize, but they refer somebody from London or Somerset or Pikeville to Lexington, that comes maybe to the UK or Baptist or whoever. That particular hospital has an exclusive contract with an agency. Then you lose the continuity of care. You've got a local interpreter who has all the medical history, all the knowledge of what's been going on, and you're shifting that to the interpreter who's never met this person before. So it's a little, one angle on that particular topic that could help some on the exclusivity issue. You're losing that continuity of care. And I don't know, I know the CPA code of ethics, I don't know the interpreter code of ethics. I don't know if that's an ethical issue or not, but it definitely has a healthcare impact on that patient.
Yes.
Sorry, Nana.
Yeah, I'm with you. There are two issues. Dodie, you brought up concerns are, where do we have deaf advocates? And I hint to the commission. If in the future we add an additional position, we need to have a deaf advocate position. Hint for the commission. So there is no funding right now. I know the governor has really cut the budgets on these. The second point I want to make, let me think here, I've lost it. Actually, there are 3 points I want to make. I am the current Kcdhh president of Kentucky Association of the Deaf. I see a number of concerns, and I think we need to have deaf advocacy. I think as the president of Kcdhh, looking at what the commission can do, and then I as the president of Kcdhh, how we can jointly provide training and advice on how to address those issues and how to file complaints. I said some people are afraid that if they file, there's a problem, you don't know how. I understand that. That's one issue. Or that it's gone past the 180 days, that's another issue. But you know what's out in the community and you know what's going on. As a Kcdhh president, I could come and give a presentation for free and give an all-day training, for example, on how to self-advocate. So that we can move forward and get something, going. That's something that the Kentucky Association of the Deaf can do. That's our responsibility to train others. The second point I want to bring up was talking about the hospital issues that you brought up, Denise. Arlene Finke, most of you all know him. He's an awesome person. He is able to work within our Danville hospital system, and he complained about the VR. In Danville, we have our hospital there, Ephraim McDowell Hospital in the Danville area. It's a small, local, regional hospital, and he didn't like the VRI system that they had within the hospital. He was laying flat on his back, he couldn't see, and he had to have his wife interpret for him. And so his complaint was, he didn't contact the commission. What he did on his own, he met with the council. Oh, he did contact the commission. Oh, I'm sorry, he did contact you. Okay, I wasn't aware of that. So sorry. But he met with the Human Rights Commission within the city council of Danville, and the Human Rights Commission then took on the case, and they were able to share their concerns, and it went from the Human Rights Commission, they brought in the larger community, and they met with the hospital and negotiated with them on the concerns regarding VRI and the difficulty there, and they made a change within the hospital regs. And how did that start? By one person, Arlene Finke. Now, I understand that the hospital is not totally compliant. They're still not doing what they need to do. I agree, Nina says, but the problem, what did happen is that we educated them. And then we also have the National Association of the Deaf, who can provide us with cards about VRI that you can give to hospitals to say, this is not an effective way to work with me for giving me advice and the like. So you can just request that from the National Association of the Deaf. So you've opened up a can of worms, Nina. That's okay. I'm telling you what I'm planning to do. Okay, I'm going to open up a can of worms. You complained just a while ago about needing advocacy and needing interpreters to the fee exclusivity and contracts and all of those types of things that we discussed earlier this evening. Where's Kcdhh in all of this? Yeah, you're right. Where is Kcdhh in all of this? So, as new president of the Kentucky Association of the Deaf, you are hearing their voices, you're hearing their complaints. Kcdhh used to be a strong entity within our state, and I think that Kcdhh is pushing us forward. They did back in the day, but Kcdhh is not active today. Your voice is not as strong as it used to be. Your voice needs to be stronger. So I'm letting you all know that. You've got a voice already. The Kentucky Association of Deaf is strong. It's a very strong tool, and you need to take advantage of that. And Nina says, please, we are here. You've opened, we say I've got my ears are open. Well, I'm telling you, my eyes are open. I'm hearing your complaints.
The problem is that they don't have a.
Come up here and talk a little bit louder.
The problem is they don't have a voice. You guys come down here and it's great.